2 weeks later, I got it.
That's hilarious.
My daughter, when she was in high school, she had the car that I had at the time with this license plate, and
She probably got a lot of comments.
oh, she loved it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's my car.
Standout kind of license plate. I didn't realize that there were criteria. I mean, obviously you can't put like shit on there, but
Right, and I think that you know, they have like some sensors somewhere that
did the guy that came to Snarky and license plate?
he did finally. So I wrote to the guy in the Globe and told him about it. He loved the story, and I sent him a picture of my plate. I find occasionally I'll write writes a piece on the Globe. They almost immediately write back.
Really?
Yeah, I think they really like it. It's like really nasty.
Right. And it doesn't are you writing to get published or you're just writing to get some comments on something?
Yeah.
My son bought it for
Of course. How old are your kids?
21 and 24.
You got babies.
How old are your kids?
I just left it.
Yeah, it makes me a little sad these days because pre-COVID, the older one, who's now almost 5, he started coming to Korea. And he
Should I put it?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to all of you. It's good to be with you. For those of you who don't know, I just landed back from Israel like 5 hours ago. So I am, like, my body is asleep, my brain is half asleep, my voice is awake, and I'm happy to be with you. But if you see me kind of like not really on my, really saying things that make sense, just know that it's 1 a.m. and my body is still on Israel time. But I just want to say that just back from an incredible 12 days trip with a group of TBZ members and Temple Sinai down the street members for our first multi-narrative trip to Israel and the occupied territories. And we had an incredible trip where we got to hear voices, many different narratives, many different voices of what's happening there, and we got to learn a lot from different people and really grapple with the situation and both feel the heartbreak of all the difficult things happening and also find some hope as we met with people who are peacemakers and are not giving up for the possibility of peace there. So I've written a lot about it. Some of you have read it, have received it, and we probably will be speaking a lot about it in the next few weeks. But just to say, I'm incredibly grateful. A week ago, I think here only John from the group is here with me. We were davening at Kol HaNeshama and picking up down at Navat Tehillah. We were having dinner with Kol HaNeshama, but with all of us went down for a few minutes to check in on Navat Tehillah. And in Yerushalayim, we were thinking about Shabbat Nariya because it felt so much like being here. And there was a lot of Shabbat Nariya people there. But it's so nice to be home and so nice to be with all of you. So I invite you to rise as you are able so we can welcome Shabbat together. Holy One of Blessings, your presence fills creation. Your presence fills creation. Your presence fills creation. Holy One of Blessings,
Holy One of Blessing,
your presence fills creation. Your presence fills creation. Your presence fills creation. We take the chimes from the light of the Shabbat candles. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Eloheinu melech haolam. Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher
Kidshanu b'mitzvotav,
v'tzivanu להדליק נר, להדליק נר, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I have to say another transition is that yesterday I was walking on the beach in Caesarea without short sleeves. So welcome back to home. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Higale, gale, gale, na. Ufros, Habibi, Ufros, Habibi, Havivi Alai Etsuka Sukat Shalom Nikama fana betoda Nikama fana betoda Nikama fana betoda Izmiro Nariya lo Izmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya 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 lo Nikadafana betoda Nikadafana Nikadafana betoda Nikadafana betoda Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya 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 lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Bizmirot Nariya lo Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alo sadai ay 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 Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alo sadai ay 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 אז ירננו כל עצי יער אז ירננו כל עצי יער אז ירננו כל עצי שדי וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 לצדיק ולישי לב שמחה. Shabbat Shalom. I see a lot of new faces, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Noah. Hope to meet some of you after. Before I share a covenant, I just want to share a quick logistical note, which is we're blessed with an abundance of community here tonight. And maybe not exact the amount of chairs set out as the people who are here, so you're welcome to sit on the stairs. But I ask if you're adding chairs, please don't block so that we can't go by at least like 2 or 3 people wide at all points around, both for fire safety and for dance, which are 2 things that have come up in the course of Nariya. We did once have to have, it was a false alarm, but there were multiple alarms in the course of Nariya once. We had Nariya out on the steps in the winter. It was kind of amazing. And so we want to make sure there's always some space there, so make sure there's lots of room to add chairs. I would say over here is the best section to add chairs behind. Thank you for that. And when Rav Claudia is running around, you don't want her to topple you over. No, maybe not tonight, but. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor. Bechinor v'kol zimra. Sing to existence with strings and a songful voice. This word zamru, which I translated as sing, can also mean to prune. Zamru, to prune, lizamer, as in to prune a tree, to prune in order to make space for new growth. Indeed, this actually is a season of pruning. Even though we feel the cold outside quite acutely this evening, the days actually are getting longer. And Tu B'Shvat, believe it or not, is just 2 weeks away. It's happening. The sap in the roots of the trees is getting ready to rise. It's not rising yet, but it's getting ready to rise. And in this time, before the sap begins to rise, is the time that trees are pruned. It seems to me that this dual meaning of zamru, of song and pruning, is not random. Indeed, music has the power to prune away the extraneous. The song of the stringed instrument can slice through the noise, bringing us right here into the present moment. When we allow for this mental pruning, we open up some space for silence. We open up space for something new to grow. So I felt the power of this opening on my recent visit to Ne'ot Kidumim, a biblical nature reserve outside of Modi'in in central Israel, right along the Green Line, where over the last 50 years, a 600-acre landscape has been transformed into a living classroom of biblical-era life and agriculture. As I walked through the beautiful trees and the fragrant bushes, I noticed that there were many spots where it seemed like plants were missing. There would be a sign for a plant with a tag and information. And then instead of one distinct plant being there would actually just be a variety of grasses and wildflowers and other what we might call weeds there in its place instead. So I was pretty curious about this. So I asked one of the educators there, and they shared that after a year of COVID lockdowns, followed by a year of Shemitah, in which they did no work on the land, 2 years of not working the land had really dramatically affected the space, and many of the annual plants just weren't there anymore. So while I was disappointed to miss out on some of the unique plants, I was also struck by the dramatic results of this practice of stepping back from interfering in the landscape. As a fellow land steward, albeit on a much smaller scale, it really struck me how they just released control over significant parts of this usually carefully constructed landscape, even when it meant that some things would be lost. Indeed, the Shemitah, and really every Shabbat, including this one, is a reminder to release the illusion of control over time and space. And through that releasing, to see what may grow. And we practice that release of control here at Nariya as well. While we have a structure that we follow, we're open to the energy of the moment and the flow of the journey and where it may take us. And after each psalm, as you've experienced, we leave some space fallow in the form of silence, embracing that openness that really lets the chant reverberate. So I invite you to really let the song of these stringed instruments and the strings of all of our vocal cords prune away the distractions, prune away the illusions of control, and open up a space here where we can be present to ourselves, to each other, to Shabbat, and maybe even to the divine. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai Zamru l'Adonai Zamru l'Adonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra 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 Kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Teishtachavu Lehar Kodesh Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Hayayararo, hayayararo. Didirarai, ararairai, ararairairo. Oh, hayayararo. Hayayararai, didirarai, ararairai, ararairairo. Hayayararo, hayayararo, didirarai, ararairai, ararairai, oh.
Well, we have a practice to have a kavanah, one from TBZ, one from Kavod, an intention, an introduction to the next psalm. So I'm excited to invite Rav Tiferet to give us a kavanah today.
Can you hear? Yes, okay. Okay. For a long time, I did not like to go into the water. I had a number of difficult encounters with water in my life. When I was in kindergarten, my class went on a field trip to Revere Beach, and my mom was the chaperone on the trip. I stood on the sand and watched curiously as the water came up and went back, came up and went back. I watched the waves breaking on the sand. They seemed so big, but maybe it was because I was also so small. Let's go into the water, my mom said. I was so scared. I did not want to go into the water. What if it washed me away, like the sand and the shells too? But she picked me up and dropped me into a wave. Water got onto my face. I thought this was the end. I started flailing and kicking wildly. And when she lifted me out of the water, I cried and I cried and I cried. That was my last time in the ocean until my late 20s. In second grade, we went swimming at the Brookline High pool. I was not a fan of the water. I still remembered my trip to the ocean. But I went in anyways, and I had a lot of fun in the shallow end where my feet could touch the ground. At some point, I got brave and decided to go under the diving rope to the deeper water. I was able to tread water, and I felt confident. This was fun. Then I ducked under the rope to go back to the shallow side, but my swim cap got stuck on the rope. And I flailed, and I kicked, and I panicked, and I started sucking in water. And when the lifeguard pulled me out, I coughed, and I coughed, and I coughed. I didn't visit the deep end again for a long while. In fact, I pretty much stayed away from water in general for a very long time. When people would see me not going into the water, they would ask, "Why are you afraid of water?" And I always said, "I'm not afraid. I just have kavod. I just have respect for it." Shortly, we will sing a line from Psalm 29 Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El Hakavod Hirim, Adonai al Mayim Rabim. The voice of Adonai is over the water. The God of honor, the God of respect, thunders. Adonai is over the abundant waters. This line has been like salve for my soul. It's helped reform my view of water as well as life in general. When things get challenging, or I find myself in the deep end, my instinct used to be to kick and flail and try to get out, to get in control. This never worked, not in the water and not in life. When you find yourself in deep water or are tired and need to conserve energy, they tell us to relax and float. This has become my sacred message to myself when I am feeling that fear, when I feel myself deep in the Mayim Rabim. Relax and float. When I'm able to relax and float, I'm able to feel the rhythm of the water. I'm able to feel myself as a part of the rhythm of the water. And I'm able to be and literally go with the flow. The same is true in life. When we can relax and float, we can be more naturally connected to the rhythms of the world. The flow of life can move through each and every one of us because Kol Adonai al Hamayim, the voice of God, is over the waters, including the waters that are within each of us. So, as we lift our voices for Psalm 29, I invite you to join in the wave of sound. Let your body be moved by the energy in the room. Don't be concerned with how you sing. Your voice is a drop in our great ocean of sound. Allow yourself to relax and float.
Rise as you're able, embody your spirit. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El Hakavod Hirim. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El Hakavod Hirim. Adonai al Mayim Rabim, Adonai al Mayim Rabim, Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai be'hadar. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, Adonai al Mayim, Kol Adonai, Kol Adonai al Hamayim, Adonai al Mayim, Kol Adonai al זוכרי קדושתך יחיד גר לעמך פני זוכרי קדושתך היי 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 יחיד גר לעמך פני זוכרי קדושתך יחיד גר לעמך פני זוכרי קדושתך היי היי היי
Next Kavanah, Nora from Kavod.
Shabbat Shalom.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was little. I mean, in kindergarten, I wanted to be a flight attendant because my dad traveled a lot and I thought he just spent the time flying around in airplanes. But starting about first grade, I wanted to be a teacher, and it changed what area, and eventually settled on 7th grade math. And that continued until I was In 11th grade, and like many young women who are good at math and physics, I was encouraged to study engineering. So I went to college to be an engineer and very quickly realized engineering was not for me. And the summer after my first year of college, I went back to the summer camp I had gone to growing up. And this was in rural Vermont. This was before the time of smartphones and cell phones service everywhere. So on our days off, we'd go to a local library that had free 1 hour of internet and check our email. And then it was also a place that had really good cell service. So we'd call our family and our friends. And I remember standing there in the field, pacing around in this gorgeous field full of wildflowers and a view of the Green Mountains, and talking to my friend Kirby, may her memory be a blessing, and telling her that I wanted to be a teacher, that I wanted to teach physics. And she was also an engineering major. And so I stuck out that engineering major and eventually became a physics teacher. And for the last 11 years, I've been teaching physics and at times engineering. And it's been wonderful and full of moments of joy and also really hard moments, sometimes at the same time. And the last 3 years have been really hard. And for the first time since that field with the wildflowers, I am considering not continuing on teaching, and I'm running to be secretary treasurer of my union. And this decision has been full of a lot of sadness of leaving working with students, which I love, and fears about whether or not I can do a job that doesn't involve working with teenagers, but also a lot of excitement of what it can bring. In our next song, Lahadodi, I've always loved because it's this liminal space between our week and Shabbat. And we stand at the doorway, sometimes literally, and welcome the Shabbat bride in. And so I think about Shabbos is supposed to be this small taste of the world to come, of the possibilities. And so what does it mean to stand and say, we're going to give up the week we know for this possibility to come? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Lecha dodi likat kala penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likat kala Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shemo tiferet Chadodi likat kala penei Shabbat nekavela Chadodi likat kala penei Shabbat nekavela likat Shabbat
לך דורדי,
לי קסקלה,
לי קסקלה,
פני שבת,
פני שבת,
נקבלה, עליך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת, נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תיקרני, מה תשכחי ומה תהי, ותחזו אני אעמי, ונמנתה עיר על קירה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו שיסות שופעים, ורחקו כל בליים, יציץ עליים, אלוהים, כיסוס לב באהבה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימי נשמות תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריתי. וחרתי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום, הדרך שלום, גם בשמחה וטהרה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. 2, 3. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לי קסקלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Penei Shabbat Nekavela. Good Shabbos. Shenim ve'ananim yehiyu. Shenim ve'ananim yehiyu.
As we transition to marriage, we will be using the blue cigarette so we can have some people pass them around.
Your mic's not on.
Again, as we transition to marriage, we'll be using the blue sidurim so if we can have some volunteers pass around some of the sidurim. Ay, ay, ya, da, 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 ya, da, da, ya, da, da, ay, 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 ya, da, da, ya. Ay, ay, ya, da, 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 ah, da, da, ah, da, da, ay, ay. Rise as you are able, if you are able. Page 50 here, page 19 at home. Page 50. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Baruch Adonai. ומעביד יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני עמדי ועד אביב We are love, 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 by unending love and by unending love. We are love, 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 by unending love and by unending love. Ahavat olam, Beit Israel, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim, otanu limata. We are love, 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 by unending love, and by unending love. We are love, 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 by unending love, and by unending love. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך. We read silently the paragraphs of Shema. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. Middle of page 60. Here at TBZ, at home is page 25. ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם מרים ובני ישראל, לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נהורת תהילות עושה. מלכותך רבניך בוקעם לפני משה, זה ליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. אשכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום. ופרוס עלינו סוכת סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת סוכת שלומך שלום 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 סלם 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 I'm probably going to be sharing a lot in the next many months. Probably there will be a high holiday sermon too about the trip. I just came back. 31 of us went to Israel and the occupied territories, Palestinian, with TBZ and Sinai. I just came back a few hours ago. And it was an incredible, profound trip. I wrote a lot about it during the week, so some of you already heard and read. But our trip was not a tourist trip. We didn't visit we did some fun things, not only. I did do shopping, don't worry. But our trip was very much focused on learning about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and mostly focused on meeting with people that are working for peace and working to, that are still holding some hope that there is some possibilities. It was a multi-narrative trip. All our trip, we had 2 tour guides, an Israeli Jewish tour guide and a Palestinian tour guide, a Muslim Palestinian tour guide. And then for one of the days, we had a Christian Palestinian tour guide, which gave us a totally different perspective than the Muslim Palestinian tour guide. So we really heard a lot of different perspectives and met with different activists, Israelis, Jewish, Palestinian, Arab Israelis, those who support the state of Israel, those who do not support the state of Israel, everything. We heard so many things. But I was thinking when we were singing Ufras Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha about the words that our conversation with Bassam and Rami from Parent Circle ended. Bassam and Rami are 2 activists from the Forum of Bereaved Families, one Palestinian and one Israeli, who both lost young daughters to the conflict. And they have since, and even before, been very, very active in the work of peace and dialogue and learning from each other. They spoke so much about how the stories from each other was hidden, how they didn't know the narrative and the story of other, and that the only solution, the only way to go is to learn. The Arab parent, Bassam, spoke about how he grew up without knowing about the Holocaust, and he went to learn about the Holocaust and went to Poland and took his child to Poland, and then realized that there was a whole story about the Jewish people he didn't know. And the Israeli also spoke about all the things that he didn't know. They actually were here at TBZ also 4 years ago. Jonathan, you brought them here 4 years ago. And here they were at TBZ. And at the end, they said, stop talking about, are you pro-Israel? Are you pro-Palestinian? I said, just talk about being pro-peace. That's what we need. say, stop with that. It doesn't help. These are two parents who lost 5-year-old daughters to this conflict. So I'm just sharing their teaching and their words. Shalom, 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 shalom. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Shalom. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו, על כל עמו ישראל, על ירושלים ועל כל העולם. We rise as you are able for Vashambru, page 64 here. At home is page 27. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. היי ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני ואת השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת. יתגדל ויתקדש שמר רבה ועלמא דברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו יש מרב מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמי יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמד קודשה לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה The Amidah is on page 69 to 76 here, 29 to 39 at home, or you can take this time for your own silent meditation. May the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my redeemer. Oh Lord, prepare me.
Oh Lord, prepare me
To be a sanctuary.
to be a sanctuary,
Pure and holy.
pure and holy,
Tried
and true.
and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asu Mikdash ve'shachanti betocha got to sing this week in an underground cistern under the what is it called? The
Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
And it sounded amazing. You had a bunch of Jews and one Muslim, one Christian Palestinian singing under the church. It was fantastic. If you are able to remain standing, please do so. Aleinu, 118. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו מגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו עם משפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו עמהם, וגור עלינו עם כל המונם, ואנחנו ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני ליל מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא.
ביום ההוא
יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו You may be seated. This week we commemorate the yahrzeit of Bernard Abrams, Shmuel Barstein, Angela Bloch, Joshua Brown, Ilse Elstein, Rosalind Epstein, Charlotte Fels, Evelyn Friedman, Saul Friedler, Barnett Friedler, Samuel Golding, Adele Cantor, Eli Cantor, Mary Kaplowitz, Paul Kreiser, Rabbi Angel Kreiman Bril, Rachel Leshinsky, Estelle Lurio, Itzhak Marcus, David Margulis, Samuel Moscovich, Charles Meyer, Fred Okun, John Onthak, Florence Pincis, Abraham Pinto, Philip Less, Eliyahu Marshall Reuben, Harry Rolnick, Mark Sinrich, Albert Smolover, Sam Spector, Jack Temple, Joseph Winnig, Hyman Eisenstein, Hattie Goldstein, George Millman, Max Projarski, Jacob Rosenblum, Israel Harris Rodman, Frances Irene Smith, and Roberta Fisher Stewart, Hirschvelvel Weiner. If you are mourning or commemorating a yahrzeit, or your custom is to rise for the mourner's Kaddish, please do so. Kaddish is on page 124 here and 48 at home. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמה דברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, על כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. I have a few announcements from Felicia Kaiser from TBZ. Your mom, yeah. From Mama, from Mommy. We're getting some announcements from Mommy from TBZ.
Yes. Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
Shalom.
What a delight to ride the sound waves, float in the sound waves. I'm going to take that with me. Rav Tiferet, is she still here? That was beautiful. I have a few announcements for you this evening. So tomorrow, our Kiddush talk is with Cindy Kaplan, who I believe is here.
She just left.
Oh, she just left? Okay.
Just
Well, you can
left.
see her tomorrow if you come to services in honor of the upcoming book, Jewish Disability Awareness, Acceptance, and Inclusion Month, which will be in February. We're welcoming our friend Cindy Kaplan for a Kiddush talk. Cindy recently published a memoir called Free Fall: One Mother's Journey Raising a Child with Special Needs. There's an upcoming film on January 22nd and also the 29th from 2 to 4 p.m. The History of Zionism as Told Through the Eyes of Its Inhabitants with TBZ members Jan Darsa. By using the film Colliding Dreams, this two-part course will explore Zionism's history. The film and other sources we will bring to the conversation will include a wide range of Israeli and Palestinian views. This is one that I'm involved with and excited about, and I wanted to show you the flyer. They're on the table outside if you wanted to learn more. There's an upcoming event coming very soon. It's a virtual event about decarbonizing your home. So if you know anyone, either yourself or someone who you know, they don't have to be a TBZ member, who's interested in doing things like putting an induction stove in, or solar panels, or heat pumps, anything like that. TBZ's Climate Justice Group, which I'm involved with, has partnered with Mothers Out Front in order to offer this online 1-hour session to give people the tools and resources that they need in order to take those steps. So, flyers out front for that. Hadar Boston Nigun Circle with Rabbi Deborah Sachs-Mintz is hosted by TBZ on January 26, 7:30. That's an in-person event, and you can please RSVP. Just a heads up that next Shabbat, which is the 28th, we're having a very special Shabbat service, which will start a little bit later. At 11 a.m., it's our Shabbat Hadorot, Shabbat for all Dorot, or generations. So the program is as follows. From 10 to 10:30, there's a Shabbat Shabreakfast, which everyone is welcome to. It's particularly lovely for the little ones. 10:30 to noon, Shabbat morning service, adults and children in the sanctuary with a Torah play. So if you want to participate in this play, you can let Rav Tiferet know. And in the evening, there's a Havdalah and a movie for all generations, Fiddler on the Roof, of course. So please join us for that next Shabbat. This is a Zoom event coming up on February 1st. So Beyond the Count, Perspectives and Lived Experiences of Jews of Color. From 8 to 9 p.m., the Jews of Color Initiative and Dayenu invite you to a special panel discussion featuring our very own Rav Tiferet of oh, you know what, Rav Claudia, I don't know this acronym, JOCI. Oh, that's the Jews of Color Initiative. Got it. Groundbreaking report. Sorry. Okay. Yes, I already mentioned that it's a Zoom event on February 1st. Please join us for that. Everyone's welcome. TBZ is working with the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization on a statewide housing justice campaign. I believe Matan is here this evening and can share with you more about that. Very exciting. So on February 15th, we are going to be holding a teach-in with the United Parish of Brookline. If you're interested in housing or racial justice, please watch your email for more information or contact Rosalind Jaffe, Sarah Langer, or Matan. Okay, a couple more. Thank you. These are all so important. I really appreciate your patience. So, there is an opportunity to bring some vegetarian soup and crackers for family table to help end food scarcity in our community. So please contribute. There are drop-off bins in the lobby on the ground floor. Finally, please help our member Leora Bluewolf collect clothing for Cradles to Crayons. This is her bar mitzvah project, and she really is hoping for everyone to participate. So you can look for donation bins downstairs near the family table donation bins. They're all kind of together there. Okay, a couple of thank yous for this evening. This would not be possible without our incredible tech crew. So thank you, Rachel Krause-Grossman, for that. And The two of you. Is that Micah back there? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We all do. And for those at home, I know they do too. Okay, and finally, our usher, Isaiah, thank you very much for welcoming us all. And Shabbat Shalom.
Best way to thank Isaiah is when we leave to bring our songs separated in two colors so that we can put them. So Isaiah and nobody else needs to stay here to clean up for us. That will be wonderful. And we have announcements now from Aviva, from Kavod.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
so good to
Shalom.
be with you. I'm Aviva. I'm the Rosh Spirituality for Kavod. We're always so glad to co-sponsor Shabbat Nariya with TBZ. And we want to recognize the Wampanoag and Massachusetts nations on whose traditional territory we're gathering, acknowledging them as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land. And it's our hope that by acknowledging them in this small way, we honor the history and wisdom and resistance of Native peoples on whose land we gather, and of the many peoples who made possible our presence here right now. Kavod is a multi-ethnic, multiracial community led by Jews in Greater Boston, committed to each other and to building a liberated world for all people. And we're so glad to be with you, especially if you're here for the first time. Can you give us a little wave if you're at Shabbat Nariya for the first time? Wow. Oh, it's so good to meet all of you. I'd love to meet more of you after. Wow, welcome. There's a few things happening at Kavod over the next few weeks that you can find on our website, kavodboston.org. So I'll just tell you the headlines. We have a kickoff meeting for 2023 for our climate justice team. You can join that team in showing up for climate and environmental justice. And if you want to know more, you can talk to Tali, who's over there. That's on Monday, January 23rd at 6:30. And we have Kavod Shabbat services in Jamaica Plain coming up on the 3rd of February at First Church. And we are co-sponsoring a Tu B'Shvat Seder with the Boston Workers Circle on February 5th at 4 p.m. You can join that virtually or in person and find more information about that and the many other things happening at Kavod at kavodboston.org. And the last thing I wanted to say is that if you are a young person in Greater Boston and excited about making these kinds of partnerships that we do here at Shabbat Nariya and at Kavod happen, we would love to have you join our spirituality team at Kavod, where we both engage together in spiritual life and help make these things happen for the community. So you can talk to me about that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Another last announcement. I hope many of you are staying for the potluck. So from here, we'll do Kiddush and Amotzi here. We'll go downstairs for the potluck. And make sure that if you did not write what are the ingredients of your potluck, if it works with your practice on Shabbat, there is downstairs paper and pens for you to add, making sure for both kashrut and allergies that people know what they are eating. And last but not least, super important, if you bring something for the potluck, make sure to take it after, because our kashrut policy allows us to have a potluck, but we cannot bring anything that is left over to the kitchen because the kitchen goes by hechsher. So if you leave your leftover food, your bowl or something, we need to just get rid of it. We cannot keep it. And so make sure before you leave to take what you brought or give it to somebody else, but don't leave it at TBZ. We thank you for that. Shalom Aleichem. Everybody rise as you are able.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon,
Melech Malchei Amlachim,
HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל צבאם. ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. צברי חבריי,
לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו ואהבה ורצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
לחיים, לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על נטילת ידיים.
אמן.
Connect to the challah, to someone connected to the challah. And then we'll bring the challah downstairs. Don't worry, it's really yummy challah. We say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עליהם, הווה על כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, שבת שלום.
First time